12 consecutive game run against American League opponents as they'll head up to Cleveland to take on the Guardians. Then they'll host the Twins and the Orioles. We've got Jim, Matt, and Molly starting right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's
so
going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow. Oh.
People like me.
I don't think so.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
We're learning a lot about each other.
We got Homer, Matt Hamilton.
Yeah.
We have
Pessimist Molly.
No. Realist.
and then Contrarian.
Total.
Jim Rutledge here.
It's Murr.
I'm the flower, it's
Mister.
Could it be possible you guys are the best show in ESPN Wisconsin, the whole state?
Yeah, obviously. It's
possible. Anything's possible.
You're the best.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton and Molly Brown, here's Jim Rutledge.
It is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are live from the Everlight Solar Studio. We are presented by Coors Light. If the mountains are blue, you know what to do.
And that's Crush, a Coors Light.
I'm Jim Rutledge. I do have the power alongside Olympic gold medalist Matt Hamilton, who is back from Minnesota. Molly Brown in the Everlight Solar Studio with me as well. Primetime War Shine behind the glass. You can get into the show on the Carbless Talk and Text on 844-770-3776. This is more. We're going to talk about, you know what? I'm going to throw out the question right away. I put on my own personal Twitter, at Jim Rutledge. I asked the question, Packer fans love to do the Bears still suck chant, but with the news that I haven't verified he's actually a Bears fan. It has been verified that he is a Cubs fan, the new Pope. But with the
How do we verify this? Do we look at his old Instagram posts?
He does have Twitter and stuff, but I think like in old interviews he talked about being a Cubs fan or whatever. So the new Pope being from Chicago, do Packer fans have hesitation with their Bears still suck chant? Right now, 91% of you say, no, Bears still suck. So not a lot of concern with upsetting the new Pope. First
it's
American-born Pope.
It's Sunday. You can always ask for forgiveness.
There you go.
Right? So I'll just get it out of the way, and then I'll repent.
And he is Pope Leo. I don't know the number, but he's
The 14th.
Leo the 14th.
It's a good name, Leo.
So they pick, he was Robert Francis Provost, and obviously you choose from a specific
list of names.
Yes, and Leo the 14th.
What if you just been like Pope Greg? Just came out here, Pope Matt.
And I don't know why they picked from a specific.
Pope Liam.
Right?
Pope Luca. All the new names.
Kids,
I actually think
Pope
we just
Tyler.
stumbled upon why they picked from a specific
Yeah, exactly.
section of names that you can't just have some ridiculous name up. You got to be one of the approved names there. So it is fun. A lot of goofy memes about the Pope being from Chicago, about the Italian beef, about deep dish pizza, about
the ketchup on a hot dog's now a sin.
Yeah,
like a papal rule.
Yeah, Andy Aguilar pointed out on Twitter that the Chicago got a Pope before they got a 4,000-yard passer.
Savage.
Caleb Williams was close last year, and I think he got to 4,000 total yards with his rushing, but he did not get the 4,000 yards passing. So we'll have to wait and see this year to see if he hits that number.
So are you flying the dub today for the Chicago
I'm
Pope?
wearing. You can see us. It is. I'm flying it because the Cubs lost, but you can see on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream, and you can obviously stream the show on the ESPN Wisconsin app. I am rocking my Fly the W hat because
Chicago's got God on their side.
Right? I think good things are coming for the city of Chicago sports related.
Oh, man.
Sure. If there ever was a sign, here it is.
I mean, you're grasping at straws here, but I'm going to go for it. But you can chime in, 844-770-3776.
All of a sudden became a strategy for Jim
our siding limited poll question.
Hope and faith.
I have faith in the Bears this year.
Yeah. Hey, well, I had faith anyways, but now it's more long term. The Pope is 69 years old. I feel like we got a run here of
69. I like that number.
I feel like
Caleb Ben Johnson in the offensive line.
I don't know.
And hopefully the kicker.
Yeah.
I don't know all the sins, but I feel like that was one of them.
Yeah, maybe.
Not what you did with the.
Giannis.
Yes.
69. I like that number.
I'm not sure. Again, I don't know all the new sins and the old sins and where they all fall, but that one probably higher on the list there. But Matt, you were in Minnesota.
Yep.
And the big news before I want to get into, and we have a jam-packed show, so I want to get to the Mina Kimes stuff from her podcast. She talked some Packers at the back end of her podcast, her most recent one on you can get it on the ESPN app, which got Apple, Spotify, and those great places. But you wrote Stephen Kroll was on your flight?
Yeah, he was in the seat behind me. He mentioned how planes weren't built for guys like him.
Yeah.
He had a bulkhead though. He had plenty of legroom. I was sitting in first, the last row in first, and he had the bulkhead behind in Comfort Plus. So I looked back, and if it was like a tight space, I probably would have offered him the seat.
Yeah.
But he had more legroom than I did. So
And this was like an
you're
hour
fine.
flight, though, too, right? This is
Or less. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're on the plane for like an hour because you got to wait for the taxiing and stuff. But yeah, it's a quick flight.
Chris from Switch Waters chimes in. Remember, Jim, God is a Packer fan, which is why Reggie White came to Green Bay. Well, maybe it's an asterisk now. God,
Christ compels you.
God was a Packer fan. Now maybe he's a Bears fan. I don't know how it works.
Thanks, Aaron Rodgers. That's a lot.
I honestly thought maybe it was going to be Aaron Rodgers today. Who knows?
I'm in a serious relationship.
With God.
With God.
That's what the ring is for?
Right, yeah. Do I feel like...
It's a promise ring.
Wait, do popes or do someone wear wedding bands like you're married to God, or is that...
I would have to do some research.
They have a ring that's a seal. Each pope gets
Okay.
their own ring.
Okay, yeah, because I do
Yeah,
think
Matt
there
watched
is...
Angels and Demons.
I watch
He knows-
Angels and Demons. I know my stuff.
And you're right, because I watched Conclave, and I saw them take the...
because
The
they
fisherman's
destroyed
ring?
the old one.
Is that what you're talking about?
I think it could be used as like a...
Also known as the piscatory ring on the right hand's ring finger.
Yes.
As a symbol of his authority and role as the successor of St. Peter, who was a fisherman.
I believe that's the ring I'm thinking of, yes.
Ryan's just sitting left and right. I
Kind
don't
of looks
know.
like your ring.
My Olympic ring?
No, it actually really does. I'm not kidding.
Yeah, it's a signet. Which is the style of ring.
And
but-
the Conclave, I'm referencing the movie that just came out, I believe, last year, and you're referencing the Angel and Demons movie, which was starring Tom Hanks, the sequel to Da Vinci Code.
Yes.
Yes. Do you read either one of those books?
Yeah, actually, the Da Vinci Code, I remember one time, I was in high school when I got it. My grandmother really wanted me to read a lot of books, so she always was like encouraging me to get books and ask for books for Christmas and my birthday and stuff. And I remember getting like 2/3 the way through, right when everything good was starting to happen in the book. And I remember like waking up at like 4 a.m. kind of like thinking about it, and I just like crushed the last quarter of that book before school because I could not wait to find out
It's
how
a sign
it
of a
ended.
good book. It is a really good book, and my general understanding of it is that most of the stuff is like factually true. It's just the connections that are fake.
Yeah, oh yeah.
So, but it's like those are the type of books I like, where it's like, okay, you're
We're
not
going to sprinkle in some facts and some history, but we're going to tie it together in a way that's totally not real.
right. Air quotes. No. So
Yeah.
I would recommend those are fun. Actually, I think Dan Brown came up. Because I thought I was going to do it through the like the Libby app, where you can download books from the library, and I believe there's like either a prequel or sequel to the Da Vinci Code that he just came out with.
It's one
like
called Inferno.
Yeah, that one's in there, but this is a newer one,
Right.
Because it was on like a newer release. Ryan, you're nodding your head like you know it.
I know about Inferno, and
Okay.
I know about the book before that,
Is
the
it
Da Vinci
all
Code.
main character Robert Langdon
I would
based?
have to do my
I don't know.
research.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair
All
enough.
right. Well, moving off of Pope talk there, I just thought look, Twitter was fun today, and I think mostly because I just live on my For You page or on my following page.
Mm-hmm.
But Twitter was fun today with a lot of just goofiness with the fact that he's a lot of fun shirts were put out that the new Pope Leo the 14th is from Chicago and seems to be a little bit of a sports fan. And the weird thing is these popes have social media. They have phones.
That's so weird.
They had to famously. I say this famously because there was an internet meme or like a little bit of an internet sensation that I believe yesterday or the day before, because they've been in the conclave for about 48 hours. I don't know if it was on CNN or somewhere, but the reporter was talking about how all of the popes that go into the conclave, you have to kind of shut yourself off from the world, and which includes submitting your phone. You can't have contact with the outside world. You also can't like be on your phone. Do you know what the kids refer to that as?
I saw CNN post
Yeah,
it, and
so
I was like, I
CNN
don't know if that's what the kids say.
Wait, like for real? This is real?
This
Yes.
is real.
Okay.
CNN literally posted
What?
this and had. I don't even know if you can say it on the air. I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
You say it.
The CNN reporter said the kids refer to that as raw dogging by not having your phone. That's not
That's not how
when I was a kid. That's
Yeah.
not what we've. But I guess
That's not what the kids are saying nowadays. I can verify that.
You're not a
Off the
kid.
top. Yeah, but I know what the kids are saying. They're
Well,
not saying that.
So if they left their phone at home, they wouldn't say that.
No, they would not.
Yeah, I don't think I wouldn't either. I
not
don't
what
even
the-
want to
no.
I'm
say
getting raw dogged.
Yeah, I'm not saying that.
No,
No, I can't say
not
that?
getting. It would be.
Well, like if your parents take your phone away,
Oh, if they took
Molly,
it away,
but that-
maybe. Yeah.
No, but then you
I'm
are.
getting blanked by
No.
my
You are. You're not getting.
What did Mina Kimes say?
What did Mina Kimes say?
Yeah.
I don't know what her stance is on this, but we can just get to her on the Green Bay Packers chat here. But don't forget, for over 35 years, J&K has been Madison's trusted name in security. Whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, they're your one-stop shop for all things security. From cutting-edge intercom systems for your office to simply replacing that old lock on your front door, they've got you covered with a network of top-tier suppliers. They create customized solutions tailored just for you. At J&K, customer service is their top priority, and your peace of mind is always their mission. Visit them today at jksecurity.com and experience the J&K difference. Your home, your business, their priority. So Mina Kimes has a show, and again, you can listen to Apple, Spotify, any of those great places. And she, a couple days ago, did a podcast and was kind of walking through some of the changes in the NFL and allowing people to ask them questions. And she worked through a lot of teams, including, I believe, every NFC North team that she did kind of address here. But I found the podcast interesting, and Ryan has pulled some good audio from it. It's the Mina Kimes Show featuring Lenny, which Lenny is her dog. And this was one day ago, bear down or up, evaluating off-season moves and needs. And she goes through a lot of different teams with Danny Kelly from The Ringer. And so this was a little bit from her conversation with Danny Kelly. And I wanted to get your thoughts on all of this, and then we can figure out what we want to ask our friends in the audience here. But Mina Kimes, the main question that was asked to her from fans, which I think we've asked as well. So I'm going to ask you guys this first, just with a one-word answer. Did the Packers address their needs this offseason?
2/3 of them.
2/3. What
Yeah.
are the 2/3?
I mean, they got another edge rusher, and they got 2 wide receivers and a first-round wide receiver. So those were 2 of the 3 positions. Now, I know they got a cornerback, but it was, 6th round, I think?
Seventh round.
Seventh round.
yeah,
So,
it was-
I don't have, really super high expectations for him to be a contributor.
Also,
but
Bands-
that's unfortunately our biggest hole, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. But I don't know what Jair's going to do if he's back. And
Even if he is back, I don't think we can guarantee that he's going to be playing for all 17 games.
No, I was banking on
Right.
I would love to
12.
think 10 is what I expect.
But also, Barron Sorrell's a 4th rounder, so it's
That's-
not, and a 22nd pick in the 4th round. That's not
Yep.
necessarily addressing
I guess,
it.
but with all the, and I know this has nothing to do with this play, but the fact that everybody at Texas was like, this is the guy I would bring.
But
he's
that
going
might-
to add an element to this team, whether it's helps with camaraderie and some of the younger guys because he is that kind of player, or if he turns out to actually be somebody who can rush the edge, like he can make an impact on the field as well. But I think his energy and demeanor is going to bring a little bit of, I don't know his personality, but he's obviously has an infectious personality, and Texas, when he was there, had a lot of success, and that's got to be part of it.
I get that, but also how difficult is it to go from being a top dog in a collegiate locker room to then being a top dog in an NFL locker room, and they're one of the
SEC
youngest
okay,
guys.
collegiate
Also,
one.
we are way overestimating. I like the pick, and I think he's a good culture fit, but we are way overestimating culture fit, especially for a 4th round pick. So, I mean, if you're doing this in reverse order, basically, the first rounder is the one you need to hit.
Yep.
And then Belton, who they picked, they purposely picked a player that they're not expecting, I believe, to play or start this year, which is a choice because they had other needs where they could have used a starter on. But I think in that window, they were riding that's when tackles were going. Mm-hmm. So it was also one of those things where we need to take a tackle. If we want a tackle, we're not going to get one. Savion Williams is very interesting because now the wide receiver room, which was a bunch of number 2s, and Matthew Golden might be another one, then you added Savion Williams, which is a luxury pick, so I don't know exactly what he'll do. Sorrell is a guy that, it's kind of a coin flip for year one.
Right.
And then after that, Oliver, Brinson, Robinson, and Williams, different players from different positions. Like you're talking 5th, 6th, 7th, and another 7th rounder. Those are full-on roll the dice, highly unlikely to contribute year one, and maybe in the future they can. Molly, before we get to break, Matt did not give a one-word answer, so I do not expect one from you, so we're going to get to Mina Kimes' audio on the other side. But do you think the Packers addressed their offseason or all their needs this offseason?
No. I think there was a bunch of holes before going in, and I think that they maybe addressed one, potentially. And not to cheat here, but I do know the Mina Kimes audio because I did listen to the podcast. It was great. But I think she'll kind of explain it more, that Matthew Golden may not be the correct person and filling in. No, she's not my enemy.
That's Kay Adams. That's
Kay
right.
Adams. Mina Kimes, great. Also, Kay Adams, great. I'm just kind of jealous.
Let's throw that as a poll question. 844-77. No,
I'm just kidding.
Our Call Us Talking text line 844-770-3776. List is more. Let's throw up a Siding Unlimited poll question. It's not done, but right now it is going to probably be a slow window. Jadeveon Clowney was just cut by the Panthers. Maybe he comes in and this maybe changes the answer to this. But did the Packers address their needs in the offseason? Let's just post that as our first.
Address all their needs.
Let's do all their needs.
Yes.
Yes.
They addressed a couple of them. We know that. But did they address the big ones?
Yes. All their needs in the offseason. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Like, winning teams could talk trash.
Yeah, but
Giannis talks trash.
Maybe we're not good enough to be talking trash.
Or maybe it's not your personality.
It's not tight. I'm not tight.
Yeah, I'm not tight either.
I'm not tight at all. What are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about.
It's not tight. I'm
Who's
not tight.
Ben Johnson?
I'm so loose right now.
We don't know. I don't know who he is. I have no idea what he is.
I'm not tight.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Why is life better with American Family Insurance? Because every policy comes with something very special. A trusted agent who's there to help protect your dreams by finding the right coverage at the right price. Save up to 23% when you bundle home and auto. American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Free Food Friday on ESPN Madison is brought to you by Vintage Brewing Company. Whether you're looking to get carry-out, delivery, or dine-in, Vintage Brewing has lots of great options on their menu. Vintage Brewing Company prides themselves on being a great place to hang out and enjoy classic Midwestern hospitality. Vintage Brewing Company has multiple award-winning beers, so be sure to try one the next time you're in. Head to VintageBrewingCompany.com to make a reservation today. That's VintageBrewingCompany.com.
You're only minutes away from a better buying experience at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb. Jim Rutledge here. What is a better buying experience? Well, that's the thing. You get to define it. It is the experience that is customized to you. What experience do you want at a car dealership? They can be your trusted friend or your trusted expert. So if you're in the market for a new or new-to-you Silverado, Colorado, Blazer, Trailblazer, remember, you're only minutes away from a better buying experience. And that's at Simden Chevy in Mount Horeb.
Bo here from Ridgetop Exteriors. Southern Wisconsin got hit hard with hail recently. If your home took a beating, now's the time to take action. We've been delivering top quality roofing, siding, and window services locally for over 23 years. With free damage assessments and insurance experts on staff, we've been your licensed, local, and trusted contractor since day one. Don't wait until small damage becomes a big problem. Turn to Ridgetop Exteriors today. RidgetopExteriors.com. That's RidgetopExteriors.com.
Ridgetop Exteriors.
Starion Bank redefines local banking in Madison. As a community bank with a commitment to Dane County, experience a banking relationship where your goals are our priority. Enjoy competitive deposit and loan rates and a partnership that thrives on local engagement and support. Starion Bank is more than a full-service financial institution. It's a community pillar dedicated to your prosperity. Visit one of our convenient branches in Middleton, Monona, or Sun Prairie. Starion Bank, offering banking, lending, mortgage, and cash management.
Looking to join an international quality golf club right here in Madison? Discover TPC Wisconsin, an instant classic in the heart of the Midwest. With a course co-designed by Steve Stricker and PGA Tour Designs, it's the 13th and newest TPC Network golf club in the world. Other high-quality amenities include a short game practice area, athletic performance center, and meeting and dining facilities. Plus, membership benefits that reach around the globe. Schedule a tour at tpcwisconsin.com and start your journey to a lifetime of priceless golf.
My part-time service in the Army National Guard makes it possible for me to be more for the community I call home. My training helps me at work when I lead by example. My service in the Army National Guard allows me to keep my community and those I care about safe from threats. Learn more about how you too can live and serve part-time close to home by visiting NationalGuard.com.
Sponsored by the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Aired by the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association and this station.
ESPN Madison is proud to partner with Mentoring Positives for our 3rd annual ESPN Madison Open. Mentoring Positives is a nonprofit based right here in Madison and is dedicated to uplifting youth and families through mentoring, athletics, and youth entrepreneurship. As a trusted presence in the community, Mentoring Positives has been helping young people build confidence, leadership, and purpose for 20 years. They're changing lives right here in our community. Visit mentoringpositives.org to make your impact today. That's mentoringpositives.org.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions, securing homes and businesses in the Madison area since 1987.
It's interesting because I was kind of looking at all the Packers' moves. Like, the defense is really just kind of running it back. Although Jair Alexander might stay. Sounds like he's going to stay. So that's going to stay. Kind of a little plot twist there. And then offensively is where they made some additions, bringing in Aaron Banks, which was kind of like a odd signing that didn't get a lot of attention. And then drafting Matthew Golden in the first round, which I've talked about was a pick I really liked. Do you feel like they addressed maybe the reasons why they didn't make a deep playoff run? Or do you feel like they're kind of just treading water?
Did the Packers address all their needs this offseason? That was Mina Kimes addressing that question to her. We are asking you that as a Siding Unlimited poll question. You can chime in on the Carbos Talking text line 844-770-3776. This is more Jim Rutledge, Matt Hamilton, Molly Brown with you. Primetime War, Sean behind the glass. We're in the Everlight Solar Studio. We are presented by Coors Light. Matt, tell us about your friends at Odyssey.
I can't say enough good things about Odyssey. First of all, we like local. This is all locally sourced milk. It goes down to Monroe, gets turned into amazing Greek dairy products from things like tzatziki, the Greek yogurt. They have Greek yogurt dips that are fantastic. I had the Southwest. They've got some other good ones like Mediterranean herbs. I tell you, man, they go on everything. The best part about it, it's good for you. It's high protein, low carb. If you're trying to cut some calories but want to make sure you're getting those protein macros, Odyssey is got the products for you with all of their Greek products. And don't forget about the feta. Don't sleep on that Odyssey feta. It's fantastic. So go check it out. Wherever you go grocery shopping, you will find Odyssey. Trust me when I say it is one of Wisconsin's finest Greek dairy products available. So go check it out wherever you get your groceries.
Tzatziki, I had some chips. I got it from Costco. Some like tzatziki ruffles. Little French onion taste to them. They're pretty good, though.
Wait, the chips were tzatziki flavored? Oh, interesting.
I'm in for that. Molly was just talking about how much she likes tzatziki just before the show. We were talking about it.
You just talked about Greek yogurt. I eat Greek yogurt on literally everything. So good. Sour cream substitute, the best.
All right.
Agreed.
Let's get back to Mina Kimes. All right. So that was her first part. Now let's hear again, this is from the Mina Kimes podcast with Lenny, and you can listen to it on Apple or Spotify. And she had some audio where she discussed some of the things going on with the Green Bay Packers. And this was another thought. And this was with Danny Kelly from The Athletic. But she basically talked about the Packers wide receiver landscape after picking Matthew Golden.
First of all, I don't know if there was, after McMillan, a guy who was, a true obvious number one. And I also think he gives them explosive big play potential, which is really what was missing here, right?
It's silly, I guess, because ultimately Golden, I think, is a good player, and picking a good player and adding him to your team is also a good thing. So generally, that's good. You added another good player. I think ultimately Romeo Doubs probably not long for the team, or at least like a couple years down the line. Christian Watson can't stay healthy, may not even play this year. Jaden Reed, I think, somewhat limited in terms of his utility. I don't know. Like, I think he could play in 2 receiver sets, but they just didn't do that last year. Ultimately, getting a good player to help your quarterback is a good thing. So I think it's just splitting hairs a little bit the way that I was doing my grades. And then the Savion Williams pick was super interesting, I guess. It just, again, another one that just like didn't really make sense to me, but it's still fun.
Where Molly, Matt reacted first last time. Molly, what are your thoughts on the overall? I was just happy that they agree with me on the Matthew Golden.
Of course you were.
Well, just because people listen, oh, he's a hater, and I'm like, or maybe I have an idea what I'm talking about, and maybe he becomes a number one, but most likely his size and it makes it less likely he's going to be that guy, and he could be a 2, which is fine. Like, that's still a starter, and that's a good first-round pick, and it was a good value pick. This was a weird draft. It's hard. Like, there was Tet McMillan and Hunter, and then there was a bunch of people that you're taking a flyer on that maybe they become a 1, but most likely a 2 or a gadget player. And I mean that like the gadget player now is much more of like I would consider like Deebo Samuel a gadget player. Like,
Deebo Samuel in his prime, maybe not this year.
But just in general, yes, like, that's not a slight on them, or it could be a slot receiver that's moved all over the field. A true legit 1, again, I think they're very rare. I think there's 1 in the NFC North, and that's Justin Jefferson. There's other good players, but they have flaws.
Amon-Ra St. Brown is a 1, a legitimate 1?
I think he's toolsy, and I think you have to have the right coordinator to get the most out of him.
I think he'd be a 1 on most teams in the NFL, but that's maybe I overhype him.
I don't know. He's good. He's good. Don't get me wrong. Yeah,
and I don't want to like necessarily say that they're like
if he's on a team,
1B in the North, like Justin Jefferson's clearly the best wide receiver.
But if he's on a team with like, let's say Puka Nacua, he's the number 2. I think Puka would be the number 1.
No,
you don't think so? I think he would be. Huh? I do.
No, Puka
if he was on a team with Devontae Adams would be the number 1.
No. That's different. Yes, but Puka is number 2 on the team with the Rams, and he was given like a meh contract, so the league does not see Puka as anything special.
I mean, he was drafted late too, but like I don't know. I think
Puka hasn't gotten a contract yet.
But I mean, he's still not viewed as like. But he's not viewed as he's not St. Brown, like not even close.
He's probably approaching that territory.
I think he's pretty damn good.
115 catches up, 12.
Puka Nacua was also hurt last year.
1,200 yards, 12 touchdowns, but like. I'm sorry. St. Brown is way more of a track record.
Well, true, but his first couple seasons, what was St. Brown doing, too? Because
St. Brown didn't pop off until 2 years ago?
I'm saying Nacua could be on that trajectory.
We are wrong completely on St. Brown. 90 catches, 106, 119, 115. That's from year 1. 90 catches, 900 yards, 5 TDs. Then 106, then, with 1,200 yards, 6 TDs. Then 119, 15 and 10 TDs, and 115 and 12. They are similar players, and they need to be schemed open more than they can just get open. And that's a lot to do with their size. St. Brown is 6 feet tall. DJ Moore is similar. He needs to be schemed open. But the last 2 years in Chicago, 98 and 96 catches, averaging over 1,000 yards per season and 7 TDs.
So if Matthew Golden became either of those players, I think I'd be happy.
I'd be thrilled.
I'd be so excited.
But I wouldn't call either one of those guys as the one. I would say Jefferson is a true like.
But didn't you just say that Amon-Ra was?
No, I did not say that. I did not say
no.
He was a 1.
I said, don't you think Amon-Ra St. Brown's a 1? And he's like, no.
Gotcha. Okay.
But to me, it's like
I think you two are agreeing.
Okay.
Yeah, to me, it's like an ace pitcher. There's very few of them. There's very few number 1 wide receivers, and Justin Jefferson is one of them. And I view number 1 as you could put them in any system, any coach, and no matter what.
And they're going to be the star.
Yes.
A professional receiver.
They do not need, and I'm not saying St. Brown, I mean, obviously he's a great route runner and all that, but like you need, the offense that Ben Johnson runs gets a lot out of St. Brown. I'm curious to see.
I was going to say that'll be interesting this next year.
Will it be the same out of St. Brown?
But no, I mean, I think Mina, and actually, I can't remember if she said in the clip that you just played or if it was when I listened to the podcast, but she even said, like, beyond Tet McMillan, I don't know if there was another number 1 wide receiver in the draft, especially in the first round.
Well,
like,
they definitely mentioned it after Golden. They were like, what other options?
Exactly. So, like, I mean, Ibuka, like, I don't think he's going to be a number 1. Certainly not right away.
Receiver. And he was drafted before Golden.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I don't know. But, I mean, I'm hopeful that he ends up being it because right now it just feels like there's a lot of guys that have potential, but there's no superstar Devontae Adams replacement. And I feel like I'm still searching for a Devontae Adams replacement, which is going to be hard. But, like, I'm excited for Matthew Golden. I'm not going to get down on it. I'm going to still be excited until I'm proven otherwise. But, like,
would you be down if he's just really good, like,
if he's
better version of Jaden Reed?
No, I'd be excited because I think Jaden Reed is exciting.
Yeah, but
so,
saying he's not a 1 doesn't mean it's a bad pick. That's what they're saying there, too. They're like, hey, in this draft, like, they don't see him as a future number 1 stud receiver, but it's still the right pick and you can be excited about it.
How confident are you guys that no matter what, by drafting Matthew Golden, the Packers got better?
In the wide receiver room, yes.
I mean, yeah, and across the board, they got better by drafting.
But here's the thing: they didn't need to get dramatically better in the wide receiver room, which is why, like, the actual increase of overall roster getting better.
Well, you could make an argument with Romeo Doubs on and off the field last year. They even mentioned Christian Watson's hurt. Like, he brings consistency and more assurance.
I think he also brings a challenge to other players. Like, I think we've talked about numerous times how Brian Gutekunst says that he wants a sense of urgency within this team. And I think that this pick may be just that, to get other receivers to, hey, none of you guys really stepped up last year when you had the prime opportunity to be the number 1 or to be the guy, that this might motivate it.
I hate that because who do you have in your room that you had to get someone else to get them to be motivated?
No, what I think the point of that is
they
used a number 1 on it. Like, this is the first time since 2002. That they used a number 1 on a wide receiver. That puts pressure on the entire wide receiver room.
Right. I just don't like that's a dangerous game.
It puts pressure on Jordan Love.
So
hey, we got you this guy. We never got Aaron Rodgers a guy. We did finally for you. Now you have to do your job too.
Get him the ball.
Pressure.
My point is that they would have increased their roster, I guess, as far as getting better if they had added an edge or a corner.
We say that, but we also said the 3 positions of need were edge, corner, and wide receiver.
I didn't say they didn't improve it. I said that I think edge and corner, but they weren't available.
I agree that they were more.
And I'm not picking on the golden pick. I'm saying he was the best pick to make there.
And
I'm
also,
just saying to think that he's the next great receiver might be a bit of a reach, which doesn't mean it's still a good pick. Like, it's still the right pick. I think they picked Jaden Reed just in the first round, but I think Jaden Reed's a good player. And so it's just a matter of Jaden Reed in this draft. If he came out, he might have been right there, the same type of player, similar size, not quite as fast, but productive in college. And you're gonna have to work around different ways to get the most out of him. Let's hear from Mina Kimes because we've got Evan Cohen coming up again. She talks about the Packers wide receiver room.
I thought that the big thing that they needed, and this is what Josh Jacobs said, is like a true number 1 receiver. And I don't know if Matthew Golden is that. I think he could be. There's a chance he could be. But the way that I see him is best as sort of like a complimentary number 2 option. The Packers have like 5 of those guys now.
Yeah.
This is the joke. Danny Heifetz on our show, the fantasy show, just constantly uses the Always Sunny cats in the wall joke, where it's like, we got cats in the wall. What? How can we get them out? Maybe put one more in or whatever. It's just the lack of a number 1. It's like, let's just throw another number 2 out there.
You know what I was thinking of? I think the comedian's name is Caleb Heron, where he's talking about Elon Musk, how he has an army of 2s behind him.
Right.
I'll look it up.
Here comes the army of 2s.
Here comes the army of 2s.
Yeah.
That is something that I think you could argue.
Right.
That Packers just have an army of 2s.
This is the theme.
I
Here
love
come the army of 2s.
I want to be clear. I love the golden pick.
Yeah,
but it is.
Man, they sound just like you, Jim. Let's just dunk on the pick and then finish with, I like the pick, though.
It's just it didn't dunk on it. They said he probably won't be at 1, but it's still a good pick. How is that dunking on it? Like,
that's got a dunking on it.
What's dunking about it? Like, that, if you listen to the whole podcast, you're just getting your feels. If you go the whole podcast, they go through every team. Feels.
If we go out and use a number 1 pick on a wide receiver, I want them to be number 1, at least potential.
Matthew Golden had the same grade as Luther Bolden and Burden and a few other players around him. That was first, second round grade. The only guys that had first true number 1 grades were Ted McMillan and Travis Hunter. It doesn't mean he won't work out. They're just going off of like, hey, when scouts looked at this, they said he's going to be a good player and an army of 2s can still work. He just might be a slight 25% better than Jaden Reed, which is still the number 1 for the Packers. It's just not a number 1 like Devontae was.
No, I totally agree. And it's more of like a perception. It's like we finally went out and got a number 1 receiver.
But they did.
No, we got a first round pick receiver. And I like to just associate that with like, oh, he's going to be a number 1 because we used such high draft capital to get him.
But two, and we're going to go to break on this, and I actually don't hate this. If I was betting on a guy, and I said the same thing, the Adam Madison said unpopular opinion, but I would agree with you. Savion Williams could end up as the number one wide receiver. 6'4", yak monster, physicality needed. If I was betting 3 years,
learn how to catch.
3 years from now, I would say Savion Williams could have. He has the potential to be DK or Justin Jefferson because of his size and his body build and the explosiveness that's there with him. That a ceiling that Golden doesn't have, but he has a much lower floor than Golden. We'll talk to Evan Cohen on the other side. It's Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening live from St. John's, Newfoundland. The Newfies love Jim, Matt, and Molly. 100.5 ESPN Madison.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Hi, Dave from Canopy Wealth Management here. Our balanced approach helps guide you through a complex and ever-changing landscape. Throughout your family's financial planning journey, we will serve as a partner, advocate, and steward in all aspects to help you achieve your goals with confidence. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity, it's not just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com.
The area's best high school sports coverage is Zimbrick Honda's presentation of Prep Mania.
NIL is coming to high school sports in Wisconsin. Head over to the ESPN Wisconsin app if you missed any of last week's interview with the executive director of the WIAA, Stephanie Hauser. She gives a full explanation of what NIL will look like and the misconceptions that come with NIL. Again, you can listen back to the full interview on the all-new ESPN Wisconsin app or wherever you get your podcasts.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
People travel the world to collect Hard Rock shirts, and Hard Rock Casino Rockford is going to give the people what they want. Get in on the action at Hard Rock Casino Rockford, where all new Unity card signups receive an official Hard Rock shirt, plus free play to kickstart a winning streak. Whether you're spinning the slots or playing the tables, you'll be dressed for success. Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Let's Hard Rock. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Greg Scalzo here for Buck and Honey's. Congratulations to the perennial Best of Madison Award winner by the folks at Madison Magazine. Meet me at Buck and Honey's to celebrate Wisconsin hospitality. Whether you're enjoying the view on the Yahara River in Monona, exploring Wanakee, visiting the OG in Sun Prairie, or checking out the new location in Mount Horeb, you can enjoy the Buck and Honey's experience in a neighborhood near you. Serving lunch and dinner 7 days a week with brunch every Saturday and Sunday. I'll see you at Buck and Honey's.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Brought to you by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealership.
But, like, it seems like you're deferring to someone that's not actually on the show. And she's already your girlfriend. Friends are people that you're honest with no matter what. So I'm questioning whether or not you actually know how to be friends with someone.
He doesn't need a pat on the back. He's not you.
Well,
who's a good co-host?
And Evan Cohen, who co-hosts Unsportsmanlike right here on ESPN Radio.
From Madison to the Big Apple, it's time for Evan Cohen on Jim, Matt, and Molly.
And we are thrilled to be joined by Evan Cohen on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream as well. So make sure to dial into that. You can use the ESPN Wisconsin app to stream the show. Matt Hamilton, Jim Rutledge, Molly Brown with you. We are in the Everlight Solar Studio. We are presented by Coors Light. Primetime Wollersheim behind the glass. Evan rocking an ESPN Radio hat, and I saw a Badger volleyball T-shirt there. So, Evan, thanks for representing the team for Badger Volleyball that just won a WBA, the broadcast team, with John Audius and Jesse Nelson and Hunter and Vaughn involved in that. They just took home a WBA for the best play-by-play broadcast, large market in the state of Wisconsin. So shout out to them. And Evan, thanks so much for joining us this afternoon.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me as always. Very formal intro there by Jim.
Yeah, I thought today I'd try to be a little bit more on top of things. So, Evan, we were listening, and we've been playing a lot of audio from the Mina Kimes with Kenny show, and you can listen to that on Apple or Spotify. And she had some good stuff with Danny Kelly from The Athletic about the Packers in general. And I wanted to play this audio for you and then really ask you the question, did the Packers address all their needs this offseason? But let's hear from Mina Kimes, and then, Evan, you can kind of react to what she said, and you can answer our Siding Limited poll question as well.
It's interesting because I was kind of looking at all the Packers' moves. Like, the defense is really just kind of running it back. Although Jair Alexander might stay. Sounds like he's going to stay. So that's kind of a little plot twist there. And then offensively is where they made some additions, bringing in Aaron Banks, which was kind of like an odd signing that didn't get a lot of attention. And then drafting Matthew Golden in the first round, which I've talked about was a pick I really liked. Do you feel like they addressed maybe the reasons why they didn't make a deep playoff run? Or do you feel like they're kind of just treading water?
So, Evan, what are your thoughts? Did the Packers address all their needs this offseason?
Well, I don't know the needs inside and out like you guys do. But to me, the number one need, this is going to be a default answer for me, is Jordan Love needs to play like a franchise quarterback. And if Matthew Golden can help him do that, then they addressed all of their needs. If Banks can help protect him, then they addressed all of their needs. I want to see more, obviously, at the tight end position, and I say that only not because Tucker Kraft had a bad year last year, but because I'm very annoyed that he scored the cook-off between Bulaga and Tauscher tie, and I'm going to think less of the guy now. At the draft, I don't understand this. It's still bothering me from 2 weeks ago today or tomorrow, whenever he did it. I don't remember, but I think it all comes back to the quarterback, because that's a division, as you guys know and you talk about every day, that has 4 teams that believe that they are going to make the playoffs. There were no dramatic defensive additions, unless you're going to tell me Jair Alexander is going to be there 100% healthy and with no drama. Because how many years in a row has there been drama? Is this 2 years in a row, or is it just last year? However you want to look at it. That I kind of look at it and I say it's all about the quarterback, as always, but they did everything to help the quarterback.
And do you have faith that Jordan Love will be able to step up to the plate?
I do, because I've seen it. What I haven't seen, Molly, is it for an entire season. Right? I either saw it for the back half of a season and then the postseason, or part of the season. I think we're at a point now where it is reasonable to expect someone who's making $55 million a year, which I don't care as much about the number as much as I do percentage of cap, which I'm going to guess is around 20% of cap or something like that, or maybe a little bit less than that. But percentage of cap, who's doing that much, that Jim will go next, then Matt. So then I love watching it now. This is great. It just was so funny watching Jim try to organize this. Oh, it's great. But the point is, I think that he is capable of doing it, but it is reasonable, Molly, to answer the question that 17 games and the postseason is fair to expect him to perform well.
So you brought up Jordan Love, and it's very much a sports talk radio question that we'll be asking throughout, but I think it's worth asking of which quarterback in the North has the most to prove this season, because Jared Goff, he has lost Ben Johnson, So Ben Johnson, the guy who maybe resurrected Jared Goff's career.
Also getting paid roughly what Jordan Love is, too.
Right. So now Jared Goff
No, it's not a debate. It's not a debate. It's not a debate.
Oh,
it's just
okay.
not. It's Jordan Love.
All right.
Everybody's debating, Jim. Everybody's debating it, including us on our show.
Yeah.
But I'm dismissive of it. Jared Goff has had the career now that he should have had, and he's done it. I don't think I know he was number 1 overall. I don't think everybody's like, now that we've watched Jared Goff for a decade, we're not going to be like, oh, you got to win a Super Bowl. Like, no, he's gotten to a Super Bowl. He's resurrected 2 franchises. Like, he's had a really good career. J.J. McCarthy is in year 2, but really year 1. Caleb Williams is in year 2, but really kind of year 1.5 because it's an entirely new team. Like, no, it's Jordan Love. It's Jordan Love. He's the one who's been there and done that. Like, he has the most to accomplish this year.
So, Evan, back to the wide receivers in the Packers. Kind of help me settle this. Not really a debate. I didn't bring it up with Jim. I was saving it for you. Is the number 1 wide receiver like a level of play, or is there 32 number 1 wide receivers in the NFL, and that's the number 1 receiver on each football team?
Okay. Can I add another one, Matt?
Because Jim was saying that there's only one number 1 wide receiver in the NFC North, and that's
Justin. Kind of the idea of like an ace in baseball.
No,
like not every team has an ace.
I understand your thought, but to me, it was like Jaden Reed's our 1. He's our 1. He's a 1. Amon-Ra St. Brown's a 1. DJ Moore's a 1. But that's just, they're the number 1 on their team, but you're making it seem like number 1's like a caliber.
Yeah. That's how
I think that's a really interesting way of looking at it. So for those watching on the video stream on YouTube or anywhere you're watching, you could see behind me what helmet?
Patriots.
Okay. So let me ask you a question. In years they won Super Bowls, 6 of them. Who was their number 1 receiver? Give me any year, any time.
Edelman?
How? Edelman. Okay.
Gronk.
I would tend.
I was gonna say Gronk.
Okay, so Gronk or Edelman. So by some definition, neither one of those guys would be quote unquote number 1 receiver in this. Like, neither one plays the same position that Justin Jefferson plays. Neither one of them. So to answer your question with another question, Matt, is number 1 receiver? Every team has to have a number 1 receiver? Is it every quarterback has to have a go-to guy? Is it the highest paid pass catcher on the team? Like, I don't know the answer to that question. What I would say in return to your question for all 3 of you is there a clear-cut Jordan Love number 1 guy that will close in on 85 to 100 catches this year? I don't care what position he plays of the wide receiver. Because, like, not to try to sound like a football coach here, but wide receiver is like saying offensive line. There are positions within the wide receiver position group, just like offensive line, right? So will Jordan Love have a guy that is his go-to guy that will catch 85 to 100?
No. I do think Tucker Kraft will be his go-to guy, but he will not put numbers up like that.
Might get to 70.
That's still a big number for a tight end. Like those, like tight ends putting up those numbers are big. But I think the way that they want to build this offense is that it's going to be we'll borrow from the Mina Kimes show. They used the term "army of twos." Is what they tried to do last year, and I think you're just going to have LaFleur and you're going to need Jordan Love to get the ball out quick and accurately, but to Reed, to Golden, and Kraft, and let those players play in space. I think that's the ideal, and different games, different guys could go off. I don't think there's going to be some guy in the Packers who has 75, 80 catches for 1,300 yards. I think they're going to be a good offense. I just don't think that's going to happen.
Okay, so then what you're asking for, which is fine, but then to go back to the most pressure in the NFC North amongst quarterbacks, what you're then asking for is for Jordan Love to be Josh Allen / Lamar Jackson, whose receivers, I'm just looking now, their top receivers had 75 and 74 catches respectively. Like, that's what you're asking him to be. So your level of play in terms of distribution of the football needs to be similar to the second and third best quarterbacks, however you want to rank them, in the NFL.
Jeez.
Well,
not making me feel good here.
He's getting paid like it.
No, 100%. Yeah. I just don't have.
We haven't seen it for a season yet.
No, and exactly what Evan was saying.
Do you think
before,
you've seen it through and Evan, you can answer this too, a total of season games? Like over 2 years, have you gotten 17 games?
What did we
from
see?
Jordan
We saw
Love?
9 good ones his first year as the starter. Last year, what?
10 if you include the playoff.
Okay, 10.
I would say 9, including the playoff. There was that Giants game.
You're
It
right,
wasn't
the
very
Giants
good.
game.
There was
The Giants. Well, he lost to Danny DeVito and his agent. Remember?
Yeah.
Danny Dimes.
Yeah.
DeVito and his agent.
Yeah. Remember
You
his
just
agent?
combined 7 people. It's
Yes,
Daniel Jones, who's Danny Dimes, Tommy
No, that's-
DeVito,
Oh, Tommy DeVito, not Danny DeVito.
Yeah, that's why I was like, I didn't know
Well,
if
I
you
thought
came
were
up
talking
with your
about
own
the-
nickname
no,
or what
I
you were
thought
doing.
you were talking about the agent. Well, once I said
the
I don't
agent
know.
is like Sean Stiletto or something like that.
Yeah,
So we have Danny DeVito, Daniel Jones, Tommy DeVito, and the agent who's Primetime can look up his name, but I think it's Sean Stiletto or something like that. So
Danny
four
Dimes
different
is Indy
people.
Jones now. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we
Indy
just
Jones.
so Jordan Love had a bad game against 4 different quarterbacks in one game, and one of them's an actor, and the other one's an agent.
The shortest quarterback.
Yeah,
Danny
shortest
Dimes.
Kyler Murray.
I don't want to hear about Russell Wilson being a short quarterback anymore. If Danny DeVito is beating Jordan Love.
Yeah, good point. Good point, Evan.
Evan, there's been, I don't know,
Well, wait, you
rumbling.
didn't answer my question.
What was your question?
Did we
What
get
was the
17
question?
games over 2 years out of Jordan
Yes.
Love?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You guys are going to find 17 games. But again, let me just go back to something here. It's not unreasonable to think that Jordan Love could pop this year, where it's not that he's exactly Lamar and Josh Allen, but that's the path he should be on. That's not like some wild statement I'm making, because I was just looking, I was like, all right, what did Mahomes have? And we all forget, because in our minds, like Travis Kelce didn't have as good of a year last year. He had 97 catches, and they went to the Super Bowl. So he actually did have a pretty damn good year. So could Matthew Golden be that guy? Could Tucker Kraft, who judged the eating contest, the tie beyond comprehension, could he be that guy? Could any of these other guys be that guy? And maybe the answer is yes. If you're saying top receiver is going to top out at, what do you want to say, 70, 75 max?
Probably.
And for what it's worth, Tucker Kraft had 50 receptions last year, 5-0, and Jaden Reed had 55. So that's quite a big jump. But
Because also Josh Jacobs is going to get a lot of carries.
Yep. And
Which
yeah,
is a
and
good thing.
Yes. So, I mean, that's going to hurt those passing numbers, though.
for sure. Yeah, and I mean, we've talked about it. Like, Jordan Love is a quarterback that needs to have a running back right now, and that's what they have in Josh Jacobs. But another receiver that we've been talking about the last couple of days has been Romeo Doubs, Evan. He's been rumored to potentially be going to the Steelers, maybe. Do you think that that'll happen, / do you think that Aaron Rodgers will be a Pittsburgh Steeler here pretty soon?
Molly, did you ask that question because your assumption is Rodgers wants him?
Well, it's funny because I feel like there's this narrative going around that, Aaron Rodgers and Romeo Doubs got along, but I vividly remember, and we even played the audio yesterday, that Romeo Doubs literally says that he really didn't have a connection with Aaron Rodgers. And I mean, I heard Willie and Tauscher talking about it this morning, that there was constantly like this. I mean, Aaron Rodgers, we saw him roll his eyes constantly at Romeo Doubs during his rookie season.
And I know Jason has said this, that one of Jason's retroactive wishes for Rodgers was that he embraced the young guys. And I think the terminology that Jason used has always been like to be like the old uncle, to kind of groom them to be the next great wide receivers for him. And that was always Jason's wish, and he didn't want to do that. So now all of a sudden he may want to play with Romeo Doubs?
Yeah, like, get out of here. That's how I feel about it.
Even Matt, admittedly, is sick of Rodgers at this point. Let's be honest.
I don't know.
No, what did you say? Well, I asked your percentage of love for Aaron Rodgers. It was still like 90.
7.5.
7.5 out of 10.
From a 10.
Take that for that.
But it went down from a 10. So
Okay.
I lost
7.5
25%.
out of 10, yeah, okay.
Massive.
And now he may be doing the fake wedding ring thing. Like he may have done the wedding ring at the Kentucky Derby just to get people to talk about it, and now he's not wearing it anymore.
Or the Costanza move? Is that what you're
Wait,
talking
Matt,
about?
if he did that, like, does he fall down a full point?
Yeah, that's another point.
Okay. All
That
right.
is
Just 1 point, though, not multiple.
Yeah.
My goodness.
Well, I mean, he's a football player. It's not. This isn't football. He's just dressing up for the Kentucky Derby. Like, it's whatever. Drops a point.
All right,
I
you had
can't
a
go
question.
anymore than
Matt wants the invite for next year. Go ahead.
Right, yeah.
I do. I want to go to the Derby.
Would you rather
Evan,
go to the Derby with him or to his wedding?
I'd take either invite, to be honest.
Okay, give me an
I'd
answer.
rather go to the Derby.
Okay.
Wedding, because it'd be so awkward.
I'd probably get more attention from him at the Derby, because at the wedding it's his day. Like I would want the attention.
Fair.
Well, then I'll ask Evan or Molly, would you rather go to Aaron Rodgers' wedding or would you rather go to the Kentucky Derby?
Wedding, 110%, because it'd be so uncomfortable to watch Aaron Rodgers get married. Am I wrong? Can anybody disagree with me?
I would go with I would go with wedding because I don't want the FaceTime with Rodgers. So like, I'd rather just be able to blend in. There'd probably be
business
some
opposite
interesting
Matt.
people at
Yeah.
the wedding.
Fair.
Evan,
I'd rather be on the other. I'd rather be on the other end of a Jim Rutledge phone call when he's annoyed at someone, which is horrible.
Man.
Right, but that's I don't want to go to either. And he wouldn't want me near him anyway. Anyway, Matt, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Well, funny. So
this is Jim, Matt, and Molly here on ESPN Madison. Evan Cohen on Sportsmanlike. You hear him weekday mornings 5 to 9 here on ESPN Madison. Go ahead.
I'm not allowed to do resets, so thank you for that.
Good Lord.
Yeah. It's not good. It's not
Oh, wait, what happened to that whole bit where we were going to make Matt host solo? What happened
I
to
did
that?
such a good job. It happened. We lost the tape, though, so we can't give it to you or let it play back. It was really good, though. So many callers.
I can imagine.
Anyway, Evan, do you think Packer fans should be nervous now that there's a Pope from Chicago?
That's amazing. That is amazing. That, like, okay, I'm going to say something really stupid. I watched those videos today, hearing with the Bulls theme when the Pope walked out, and I swear, I'm like, is that real? Because I was obviously it's not, but I was so ready to do MJ takes. Like, see, anybody that brings up LeBron, and the Pope walked out to MJ's song. I was so ready, thinking it was real. Is the Wisconsin and Packers fan? That is interesting.
It is funny that the big controversy, I'm flying the W because he's a Cubs fan, but the big controversy, is he a Cubs or a White Sox fan? Because he is a sports fan, and it is a big deal in Chicago which one he'll land on. But the Cubs have lost a few in a row, allowing the Brewers to catch up. You can hear the Brewers on ESPN Madison. We are Madison's home for it, but I flew the W just because.
Shouldn't he be an Angels fan?
True. Or a Cardinals fan?
Cardinals fan?
Yeah.
He's not rooting for the Devils.
Right, yeah.
Probably Notre Dame fan.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yeah, probably Notre Dame fan.
That one is the safest bet, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
But should Packer fans be nervous?
Yeah, you're saying God, if you believe in that, it's not my religion, but if you believe in that, which is, go for it, is God now on the Bears' side? There is an angle to this, because God has been a Packers fan for a long time.
Yep. That's true.
So I went the other way.
God now a Bears fan. I like that as a caller topic.
Well, because Reggie White said that God told him to come to Green Bay. But I asked the question, do Packer fans feel a little bit of nerves if you are Catholic, if you say Bears still suck?
Only on a Monday night game. If it's Sunday, I feel like I've repented.
If the Pope is a Bears fan, do you feel a little bit like maybe I shouldn't?
I'd hold off on a Monday night game.
How many football games do you feel like the Pope has been to?
Well, he's 69 years old. He grew up in Chicago. Don't do it, Ryan. It's a sin. Don't do it.
Don't do it, Ryan.
Don't do what?
All right, play it. Go ahead.
69. I like that number.
Oh, no, you shouldn't do that.
But so he did live there for a while, and I think he served there for a while. So I feel like a handful. Less
but it's on Sunday, so only Monday night games?
True, yeah. Well, but I'd say 4 games. But I mean, he grew up there. He didn't. Obviously, he maybe before he became into the priesthood, he could have gone. Right.
And what age is that? What age do you go into that?
So I actually was watching the news
when
a little
you're a kid.
bit. No,
go
it's like
parents.
No, it's like 16. Like I believe it was like in the middle of high school. He left to go to a specific priesthood school.
Oh, he left
that's
early.
What I'm saying. Like when he was a kid, he could have gone with his parents.
Right. He was
to a
asking what
Bears
age,
game.
so I would imagine like 16, 17.
Does that mean he's wanted to be the Pope since he was 16?
I don't know what his life
Right,
goals
that's
were.
what I was asking.
Okay.
Matt, I was asking what age do you go into the priesthood?
Yeah.
Because
I think it's
after
16
that,
or 17.
Fair.
16, so let's assume at that point is when he's probably not going to Bears games.
Yeah.
Not that you can't. I'm saying that he's
But
probably
Sundays are
occupied
tough.
on Sundays.
Yeah. Sundays are probably tough. Maybe a Sunday night game. Sunday, Monday night, Thursday. Just
Thursday night games.
Yeah. I feel like it's 5.
I think that's a good number.
5.
Yeah.
Sure.
I don't. I mean, that's
Probably
the best.
going to watch the Packers though.
What's that?
This is the Packers Bears game at Soldier. He probably went to go see the Packers because it's God's team.
Oh, okay.
Right? Reggie White said so.
Reggie White did say so.
The power of Christ compels you.
Right, stop it.
What was wrong with that one?
It's from The Exorcist.
Molly has found her way out of this conversation today. Very smart.
Well,
Very smart.
here's the thing: is they both have seen all of these Pope movies, and I have not. Like, I don't.
Neither one of those are from Pope.
Okay, dealings with Pope and Catholicism, and I don't know anything about it.
Molly,
so it's like I'm just steering out.
But Molly, that was from The Exorcist.
Which I am I don't know if I can say that I'm a fan of that movie. Like,
you're allowed.
Maybe I shouldn't.
Wait, what are the best?
Don't you hate
what
when
are the
the
best
good guy loses,
movies?
Molly?
So actually, I just recently watched Conclave. Amazon released Conclave on the day after the last Pope passed, and they released Conclave on Prime, so you could watch it if you are an Amazon Prime.
Which I need to do because I do not understand anything. Like I don't even know what the conclave is. I don't know what.
Does give you insight into what just happened at the Vatican.
A conclave is how the Bears draft their quarterbacks. That's what that is.
Got it.
You've seen the jokes about the smoke, the black smoke, the white smoke, and all that. Yeah,
but like I didn't know. I didn't even know that was a thing until yesterday when it started happening because I'm just not into the Pope.
Earlier today,
not my jam.
The conclave is what? That's the meeting of the minds to choose the next pope.
So so basically they're gonna shut themselves off from the world. They put it's weird to me that they have.
Who's they?
Say what they
I'm
do.
not gonna say that.
Say it.
Who's involved?
So basically, it's cardinals who are involved, and they have to turn in
Mark
their phones.
Murphy, Goody.
Yeah, and so
Tyler Murray.
Yeah. It's
Heather Murray.
Think of like, all right,
that was stupid.
If you think about this, think of
Cliff Kingsbury back in the day. R.I.P.
Yeah. Pujols would be one. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Any others?
Mark McGuire, Tony La Russa.
Kurt Warner. Warner's there. Kurt Warner's there, former Cardinal. Yeah.
Facts. Larry Fitzgerald.
So the Cardinals. So the Cardinals get together.
Yeah. And they have to put all their phones aside, and they cut themselves off from the world, and they go into this into the Vatican, and they cut themselves off, and the way the movie portrayed it, it's very political, like anything else. They debate, they argue, they kind of figure out who's going to be who's the one that's going to take the papacy forward, and
it's got to be a unanimous vote.
Yep, and so then.
So why did this guy get chosen, in your opinion?
That I don't want to get into. That one I feel like could be a little bit. Because he's from Chicago. He's the first one from the United States, so that is noteworthy.
That's cool.
So they wanted to switch it up in terms of where they're from, different life experiences, etc.
But I will say this: he was very close to the previous pope, and very close in what he believes of the previous pope. So I think they wanted to continue.
He doesn't live in Chicago now, though, does he?
No, he lives in Vatican City.
He lives in Italy.
Yeah, but he is the first American-born pope, which is I don't know exactly how long Catholicism has been around for, but a long time. And first American-born pope is a pretty big deal.
Take that for data.
Agreed.
All right, we've gone completely off the rails, as Evan always likes to take us. Thank you, Evan.
You're welcome.
That's Evan Cohen from Unsportsmanlike. You can hear him weekday mornings here on ESPN Madison. Ryan, give me a number. I got to give away some High Life.
We have Pope Leo the 14th, caller number 14.
Oh, goodness gracious. You are just dialing into this thing. Caller number 14 gets a case of High Life in honor of the new Pope. 844-770-3776. Caller number 14 gets a case of High Life in honor of the new Pope. 844-770-3776. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube. Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by Starion Bank with 3 Madison area locations in Middleton, Sun Prairie, and Monona. Starion Bank is here investing in your community. Start your experience at starionbank.com. Member FDIC. Wisconsin football's over-under win total, 5.5 according to CBS Sports. That prediction not sitting too well with former Badger Brad Nortman. His take on Wednesday's edition of Kyle Brust and Nortman.
That over-under is 5.5 games, and it would be a success if the Badgers can get to 6 wins in a bowl game. That used to be like an embarrassing floor. We're paying Luke Fickell to put together a product on the field that reaches the standard of Wisconsin football that's been set for 35 years.
Don't wait to upgrade your windows and doors, because right now at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, get 0% financing for up to 6 years. Visit PellaWI.com today.
Brew Crew Tuesdays are back on May 20th.
Churio sends it deep to left, and there she goes.
Catch watch the Brewers on local TV as they battle the Baltimore Orioles.
And Yelich launches one deep right center field. Forget about it. Oh, my goodness, third deck.
This edition of Brew Crew Tuesdays is presented by Construction Business Group. Tune in May 20th at 6:40 on Fox 6 in Milwaukee, or check your local listings to watch the game.
You're back at the gym. Your new gym outfit? On point. Your new sneakers? Baller. You've got this. Just like Associated Bank's got you with Access Checking. It's maintenance fee-free with no minimum balance requirements. So when you take your first yoga class in 10 months, your body might surprise you, but your checking account won't. You've got this with Access Checking from Associated Bank. See associatedbank.com/checking or ask a banker for details. Member FDIC.
Do you have a student in grades 6 through 8th ready to babysit? Stoughton Health's Safe Sitter course is Saturday, May 17th from 9 a.m. to 2:45 p.m. The Safe Sitter course teaches students life-saving skills, understanding how to handle emergencies and treat injuries, from watching younger siblings to babysitting to just being home alone. Give your students these valuable skills. Class fee is $50. Financial assistance is available. Visit stoughtonhealth.com to register, then click on Classes and Events.
ESPN Madison is proud to partner with Mentoring Positives for our 3rd annual ESPN Madison Open. Mentoring Positives is a nonprofit based right here in Madison and is dedicated to uplifting youth and families through mentoring, athletics, and youth entrepreneurship. As a trusted presence in the community, Mentoring Positives has been helping young people build confidence, leadership, and purpose for 20 years. They're changing lives right here in our community. Visit mentoringpositives.org to make your impact today. That's mentoringpositives.org.
With Mother's Day just around the corner, show that special woman in your life just how much she means to you. Head over to Gail Ambrosia's Chocolatier store on Atwood and treat her to delightfully delicious chocolates crafted to perfection right here in Madison. Once you taste that difference that locally owned and made chocolates provides, you'll never go back to buying a mass-produced box of chocolate ever again. Make this Mother's Day one to remember with a box of chocolates from Gail Ambrosia's Chocolatier on Atwood.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
The High Life Backyard Dive Bar giveaway is brought to you by Miller High Life. Celebrate local dives at home with the champagne of beers. Miller High Life.
Juan and Madison in the High Life. Congratulations. Again, thanks to our good friends at Miller High Life for giving away a case of Miller High Life. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. He's Matt Hamilton. I'm Jim Rutledge alongside Molly Brown. We're in the Everlight Solar Studio. Primetime Wollersheim behind the glass here. And Ryan, have we gotten our silly poll question posted up at Jim, Matt, and Molly yet?
That was not. That has not been up yet. I was taking the 14 callers for Pope number Leo the 14.
Okay, so we will have a Siding Unlimited poll question coming up here, 844-770-3776, which that's the Columbus Talking text line. List is more. We do have a current one up. Did the Packers address all their needs this offseason? 82% of you say no. But at Jim, Matt, and Molly, we are going to post, would you rather go to Aaron Rodgers' wedding or to the Kentucky Derby with Aaron Rodgers? You can chime in on that, 844-770-3776. Let me tell you about Carbon World Health. I was just there today. Fantastic team over there. So whether you need hormone replacement therapy, you need testosterone replacement therapy, GLP-1s, cryotherapy, red light therapy, along with the gym over there. There's so many great things they offer at Carbon World Health. You can try the 6-week experience. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
Hi, I'm Eric Brown, owner of Siding Unlimited. Siding Unlimited is the proven exteriors professionals for 31 years. Family owned and locally operated right here in Wisconsin. National and local awards proving Siding Unlimited will deliver peace of mind. Looking for inspiration to replace your windows, roofing, siding, and doors? Stop by our amazing showroom at 2018 South Stoughton Road in Madison. And definitely check out sidingunlimited.com. We are Siding Unlimited.
Hey, it's Kelly Sheffield, Wisconsin Badgers volleyball head coach. You're listening to 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison, a good Karma Brands radio station.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good afternoon, Madison. I'm Ryan Wollersheim, and this year's Sports and Update brought to you by Ridgetop Exteriors, Wisconsin's premier roofing, siding, and window contractor since 2002. Visit them at ridgetopexteriors.com. Milwaukee Brewers came up one game short of a sweep in their series against the Astros this week, losing 9-1 yesterday afternoon at AmFam Field. Brewers currently 3 games into a stretch of 15 straight games against American League opponents. Brewers currently have the day off before they start a new 6-game road trip out east. That'll start with a 3-game series against the displaced Tampa Bay Rays at George M. Steinbrenner Field in Tampa Bay on Friday night. Brewers manager Pat Murphy shared some injury updates yesterday as well. William Contreras, Sal Frelick, and Bryce Terang were all out of the lineup, but all 3 players are expected to be full goes for tomorrow night's game in Tampa Bay. Here, first pitch of that one right on at 6:05 p.m. right here on 100.5 ESPN, Madison's home of the Brewers. Then Packers offseason has hit a lull, but we could be getting some action soon. NFL insider Jeremy Fowler shared an update yesterday on the status of cornerback Jair Alexander, saying the Packers and Alexander are working towards a resolution that should materialize soon. Read more over at ESPNWisconsin.com.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or MetroKiaofMadison.com.
Everybody's ego takes a shot on this show.
You gotta keep your chill with Jim, Matt, and Molly.
I am savage.
So you're not special.
Jim, if we want to play this game, we can play this game.
And I'm just like, oh my God, this guy's going to swing on Jim. He's a complicated fellow.
People like me.
I don't think so. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
We're learning a lot about each other.
It just feels like the Derby should be on a Sunday.
I don't disagree.
Yeah.
It's a Kentucky Derby. It's a Kentucky Derby hot brown, right? That's what you'd get after going to church, right?
Kentucky hot brown. It was similar to this sandwich that's popular down there called a Kentucky hot brown, which is turkey covered with basically all that stuff.
Appetizing.
I'm Googling it right now as we speak.
What's a Kentucky Derby hot brown then?
I feel like that's what the horses do.
Exactly.
No, I would say.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio in downtown Madison. Alongside Matt Hamilton and Molly Brown, here's Jim Rutledge.
Hour number 2 of Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. The Mountain Blue, you know what to do.
And that's crush a Coors Light.
I am Jim Rutledge. I have the power in the Everlight Solar Studio alongside Olympic gold medalist Matt Hamilton and Molly Brown. Not an Olympic gold medalist.
We can pretend.
Yeah, it's just every once in a while I set it up in a way that it implies that you're both Olympic gold medalists. And with all due respect, Matt's in rarefied air there, so we want to make sure we clear that up there. Primetime Wollersheim behind the glass. And if you missed any of today's show, you can listen back on the ESPN Wisconsin app. And you can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. Earlier in the show, we have been playing some audio from the Mina Kimes show with Lenny, and we're going to get back to that. She was joined by Danny Kelly of The Ringer. We did prompt a siding unlimited poll question you can chime in on here. Did the Packers address all their needs this offseason? 82% of you say no. You can chime in on the Cardinals Talking text line 844-770-3776. This is more. We also are asking you, would you rather go to Aaron Rodgers' wedding or go to the Kentucky Derby with Aaron Rodgers? And then Stin, the Badger Equipment alum, said, did Jim just compare DJ Metcalf and Justin Jefferson as similar wide receiver ones? No. I said they're both wide receiver ones, so the rest of your angry points are not valid. But I was saying that DK Metcalf and Justin Jefferson are both number 1 wide receivers. I loved your question to Evan. I don't think, and I want to get back to Mina Kimes and Danny Kelly, I don't think you need a 1, and this is the part where I think it gets lost in the sauce or people get in their feels about it. You don't need a 1 to be a great team.
Well, Evan made a good point, right? The Patriots.
Right. But Gronk, I would say Gronk is like Kelsey, because you can look at the Chiefs. The Chiefs don't have a 1, but they have Kelsey. If Tucker Kraft turns
they had Tyreek.
But I'm saying that the last couple of years, they won a Super Bowl with Travis Kelsey being their guy. Mm-hmm. They haven't had Tyreek in a while.
Yeah.
I think they've won
two Super Bowls.
I think they've won 2 Super Bowls without him. And Tyreek wouldn't have been a true 1. And again, this goes back to the ace and number 1 thing. Like, every team's got a number 1 starter, but do you have an ace? Very few teams have an ace in baseball. And like the Brewers don't have an ace, the Cubs don't have an ace. Just looking in the NFC or in the NL Central, The Reds don't. The Pirates would.
Shota Imanaga's not an ace?
No.
Really?
No. To me, an ace would be, I would say the one in the Central would be, how do you say the guy from the Pittsburgh?
Oh, from Pittsburgh?
Yeah, Paul
Skeens.
Skeens. I don't know if it was Skeens or Skirns. So Skeens would be a guy that, like, he is, Clayton Kershaw is an ace.
I will say, in Pittsburgh, I do believe they call him Paul Skeens.
Okay.
That is how it's pronounced in the Steel City.
But this goes back to my quarterback thing of, like, is Jordan Love elite? I think there's, like, 3 elite quarterbacks. So it's more about, I'm just God-tiering this sort of thing. So DJ Moore's put up huge numbers. I wouldn't call him a wide receiver 1. He is the Bears wide receiver 1, but he is not a number 1 wide receiver. But that's just splitting hairs. I want to get back to what I thought they were. I thought so far, let me ask this question before we get back to Mina Kimes and Danny Kelly. I thought they've been fair in everything they've said.
Mina Kimes on our podcast?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I tend to agree with everything that they said.
Since I've only heard the Packers version of it and haven't heard them talk about anyone else, I'm going to say that's a little unfair.
But they haven't said anything bad.
You're also just very sensitive, especially when it comes to agreeing
you
with
are
Packers.
sensitive.
I am a little sensitive.
So let's
a
hear
bunch of twos. That's kind of rude.
That's what they want. That's the funniest part to me is last year all I heard from what did Matt LaFleur say? I want to vomit.
We have a bunch of number 1s.
No, he said
makes me want to vomit.
When you bring up wide receiver 1. Makes me want to vomit. Like, and they were their whole plan last year, and every Packer fan was telling me, we got a bunch of we're just going to overwhelm you with all this talent. Who cares who the number 1 is? We don't need a number 1. We don't want Devontae
They're
Adams.
all number 1s.
Get rid of Devontae.
Okay, I don't know if I don't
know
know if anybody said nobody wants Devontae. I think people
Tauscher was like,
okay.
we
didn't even reach out.
Yeah, and I think everybody was. I mean, me included.
No,
I was ticked.
I'm sorry.
I was
to be clear,
ticked when
not in this offseason. I'm saying going into the start of last year, Packer fans were very excited that they didn't have Devontae Adams. Matt Hamilton being one of them.
But to be fair, I think going back to Love's first year as a starter, it was interesting that we were all expecting, oh God, they're in a complete rebuild, and then they end up showing us way different. They end up being pretty successful compared to what we thought they were going to be. So it's like, in all fairness, I think everybody was right in that moment in saying we don't need to have a Devontae Adams. Apparently, now I think we've all changed tune a little bit and are like, wish we had a Devontae Adams.
And all I'm saying is. All I'm saying is that the army of twos that they initially tried to roll out last year is not necessarily the bad. Like, that doesn't mean it's bad. I'm not saying you need Devontae Adams. I'm just saying it's funny. A year ago, everyone was good with it. And now it didn't work as well, so now nobody wants it.
And I think Matt LaFleur's in that too.
I don't disagree.
I'm just wondering, are the Patriots the exception? Again, go and look at some of the Super Bowl champions. They all have like a clear wide receiver 1 target.
You're just saying this, but like Gronk was a stud. Then they had Randy Moss. Like most of the years when Wes Welker and Edelman, Gronk and Hernandez, and then they had Edelman. So their wide receiver wasn't the guy, but they had Gronk, who was like the game breaker up the middle. So for the Packers to do the Patriots comp, and oh, by the way, the Patriots had the greatest quarterback of all time. Jordan Love is nowhere close to that. So like that's the other asterisk to this.
Mm-hmm.
So again, don't pick the exception to try to make it the rule. But Tucker Kraft, to me, if this offense is going to
I'm saying you can't win. You said you can, and I'm like, I don't think you can because every team's got a guy.
No, I think, but Tucker Kraft would be the guy.
So, like, when you say they had Gronk, I'm like, yeah, I agree. They had a guy that they could rely on. Like, every team that wins a Super Bowl has a stud.
If I'm betting on a guy to be the stud catching the ball this year, it's Tucker Kraft, and for the next few years.
I think he's going to be like the third down target for sure.
I think we're going to
see multiple times.
I think you're going to see a lot of Tucker Kraft this year.
Is he going to cause any more interceptions, though, Matt?
I mean, as long as he finishes his routes, he won't.
I honestly think Tucker Kraft he'll be the closest one to 75 catches.
You don't think? Really? That's interesting.
So
you think he's going to lead the team in catches?
Yeah, I think he's going to be, at least to start the year, they're going to try to make him the guy.
Interesting.
I think in a perfect world.
I think he's kind of Jordan Love's security blanket too, in a sense.
That's my guy right there.
Because he is.
I'm gonna go out on a limb. I'm gonna say Golden's gonna be our number 1 pass catcher.
That's a lot for a first year.
There's
rookie?
a lot. There's been a lot of rookies, wide receivers, as of late that have had great success.
But we've talked
in their
about it. I
year.
don't think he's a Justin Jefferson.
But also
he might not be.
But also,
but we don't have one.
If you looked at this draft, every draft person would say that Matthew Golden would have been a second or third rounder in last year's draft, for an example, where you had all those guys pop off.
Yeah.
So, like, he is not those players who just popped off.
No, I get that. I'm just saying, like, in recent history, the last, 3 years, there's been really good rookie
those
wide
were viewed
receivers.
as premier prospects.
Yeah.
That's not Matthew Golden.
I hear that.
Justin Jefferson was drafted at 23rd. I'm not saying.
But I'm not saying Justin Jefferson. I'm just saying that even last year,
I know.
what I'm getting at though, Justin Jefferson, he also went to a team that is not an army of twos. The Packers have Tucker Kraft, they have Jaden Reed, they have Romeo Doubs, they have Dontavian Wicks, so they have Musgraves as well. Plus they have Josh Jacobs. So I don't think they're going like Matthew Golden right now. Best case scenario, he steps in as a replacement for Watson. I don't think they're going to have a true one. If Matt LaFleur has his ideal scenario, I think he might steal from Ben Johnson with the Lions. 12 personnel, Musgrave's healthy, Tucker Kraft is healthy. You got a single back in Josh Jacobs. You run a hell of a lot of play action. You turn Tucker Kraft into Sam Laporta. You turn Reed or Golden, but Reed's going to get the first chance to do it into a St. Brown, and then pick your poison type offense. And so some games it could be Reed, some games it could be Golden, most games it'll be Tucker Kraft in that Laporta role, and then a ungodly amount of Josh Jacobs with the idea, if you're a Packers fan, that Lloyd is their like true second back that could be the home run hitter, because Jacobs is not a home run hitter.
Right.
I mean, he can hit one, but he's the equivalent of like the guy who hits like less than 10 home runs. They're not a home run hitter. Like he's a good running back, but he is kind of I'm going to get you 4.4 yards per carry. That's kind of his entire NFL career.
Right.
He's not a pop-off guy. So I think that I think the Packers will have a successful offense, and I think it's going to be built around an army of twos, which means a lot of guys are going to have 50-some catches, but I think Tucker Kraft's going to be the guy that pops off.
How he has an army of twos.
I mean, I like Tucker Kraft. I agree. I think he's going to be heavily utilized in the offense, but Matt LaFleur likes wide receivers.
He might like tight ends too. We've just never gotten a chance to see it from him.
Yeah,
I think this year's going to be the year that we do.
Because he wanted, what was DeGuara, right?
Yeah, Josiah DeGuara. That was his guy.
True, but that was a little. He wanted him to meet like the Kyle Juszczyk of the offense.
But he wanted that sort of like, he likes the gadget. I think you in a perfect world, you'd see more of San Francisco out of this team. I just think they haven't had the personnel all the time.
They haven't had the tight ends.
It's not tight. I'm not tight.
And you want to know how you can prove they like the tight ends? What did they do last year? Tucker Kraft and Luke Musgraves, what were they picked 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
Second and third round.
Yeah. So he likes tight ends almost as much as Matt Hamilton does.
I doubt that.
It's not tight. I'm not tight.
See, he's not tight at all.
He likes to keep it tight. All right. Let's hear Mina Kimes' show. I thought they were dead on the Goody, basically, kind of an overview of Goody as a GM.
Yeah, I mean, the Packers seem to constantly find gems at every position in the later rounds. Brian Gutekunst has been arguably much better at drafting in the later rounds than the first round of the draft. So perhaps one of these players, could be a contributor. I do think it would have been nice for them to get better at edge. Mm-hmm. But I also like what you saw in the second half of the season and down the stretch from Jeff Hafley's defense. Certainly in the playoffs, the defense was not the problem. It was pretty damn impressive. So,
what do you think?
I mean, I agree. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's kind of been our stance on Goody, is he's not great in the first round, but he tends to find value late. I think that's a fair assessment.
I mean, it's a thing that we've always said.
So I just wanted to set the context of she's not some national reporter who doesn't have a feel for the Packers. Let's get to the last one here, which I also thought
she agrees with us.
Was very interesting as well, which is about Jordan Love.
Back to the question, there's a lot of skepticism right now around Jordan Love. I'm still a huge fan of his, but he obviously has to be more consistent this coming year. And, it's his third year, right? It's not, he lost a lot of this last season to injury. So I would give him a little bit of the benefit of the doubt.
I mean, we have to give him the benefit of the doubt. He's the guy.
But do you feel comfortable doing it?
Yeah, not as comfortable as I was going into last season.
And how long can you give him the benefit of the doubt for? Is this the final year?
Which is wild to me. What's benefit of doubt for what? We've established his floor is high. I've always said
disagree with what Mina's saying.
I think his ceiling is not. I think the knock on him is I don't think he has the ceiling.
She's not talking about his ceiling. She's talking about his consistency. Just staying consistent and not making the mistakes. If he eliminates the mistakes, he doesn't need to raise his ceiling. Just raise his floor.
Yeah, I think his floor. We know where it's at. I think statistically it's going to be very similar. So, but
last year.
Yeah.
But 63% completion percentage, good yards per attempt per pass.
Again, I will assume he gets marginally better. So let's call it 66%. And 10 interceptions, and 4,000 yards.
Was it just 11 last year?
11, yeah.
So you think just one
10,
less.
well, 10 if you take away the Tucker Kraft mishap.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It should
That
have
one's
been
on
10.
Kraft.
It should have been 10.
That one's
But
on
also,
Kraft.
let us not forget that he didn't play in every single game either. I'm also
Right.
hoping that he's playing in every single game and he's healthy the entire season.
How many did he miss last year? 3?
I mean, he missed 2
One.
games after the. Well, I mean, he missed 2 after the Eagles game, and he missed half that Jags game after he got injured as
Yeah.
well.
He missed half the Bear game, but that one was more or less.
I mean, in total, about 3-ish.
Okay.
So
in 14 games, he had 11 picks.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost one a game.
He was worse last year with interceptions than he was the year
Yeah,
before.
yeah, definitely.
Well, he
and
got
completion percentage.
He got crazy last year. Like that's what it felt like. He just felt like he was just all right.
I will say, too,
Somebody's
it
gonna get
did
it.
not look like the wide receivers were as open as they were the year before.
He got cocky. I think they were open, and I think LaFleur thinks they're open. I think Jordan Love was chasing.
going for the home run?
Yes.
Big game hunting?
most of the stats showed that the actual separation from the wideouts was one of the lowest in the NFL for the Packers.
He still could have thrown. Like, he loved to sit and bounce and bounce and bounce and then take the home run.
True, but if guys aren't open and he doesn't want to let go of the ball.
But you throw it. But that's a guy, like, you're an older quarterback, you do have to let it go.
But what did we always say about him last year? He's got a little Brett Favre in him. That is exactly what it was.
He was chasing big games, and maybe it's because the receivers weren't open, but I think a lot of times the Packers wanted the ball out faster. And take the short.
we know LaFleur does.
Yes, or run. And they've been very
Which
clear on that.
he also couldn't because he was hurt too, which also probably why he wanted to get the ball out of his hands fast was because I don't want to get hit.
It's not tight. I'm not tight.
Jordan Love and the Packers would say, like,
Like they had a good offensive line.
At some point last year, the knee was not an issue for running. Like none of them used that as an excuse, as a reason. He's always never been athletic. They're talking like just get out of the pocket and throw it away or take a few yards, and he would bounce and bounce and bounce and then throw it deep. And then sometimes that would turn into an interception. This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. Make sure to check out Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. They are the best happy hour in town. We're going to be out there on Tuesday enjoying that sizzle, swizzle, and swirl happy hour. So join us out at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton on Tuesday. So Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
You're listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
Come on, Matt. You're the fantasy football guy.
I know, but like we're pretty far removed from fantasy last year. Like,
and honestly, you're into tight ends. Like, I knew how that was going to sound before I said it, but I didn't mean it like.
Okay.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Veterans of Foreign Wars Wisconsin recently upgraded their document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems. Adam Wallace, VFW State Adjutant.
Our representative ensured that we had what was right for us, for our needs, and for our budget, and I thought it was a very good interaction.
That's a good thing to have James Imaging Systems as your local business technology partner?
Absolutely. We want people that are going to support what we want to do in supporting veterans, and if that means spending less on our imaging and technology costs, that's more that we can spend on our programs.
And that's a really good thing. Adam, any advice to other businesses out there?
I would say to go with James Imaging.
Because?
Because they are a partner and they give great customer service and the prices are right.
Great document imaging technology, great service, great value. From James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Call 608-221-3457 or visit jamesimaging.com.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
Live the high life at Nitty Gritty, home of the famous Gritty Burger and Madison's official birthday place. Celebrate your birthday at Nitty Gritty and receive a free memento birthday mug to fill with free beer, specialty birthday cocktails, or soda all day long. The Nitty Gritty has celebrated almost 900,000 birthdays, and birthday celebrant number 900,000 will receive a $1,000 Amex gift card. Grab some friends and celebrate your birthday at the Nitty Gritty, located in Madison, Middleton, and Sun Prairie. The Nitty Gritty, a tradition since 1968.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Need new tires? For a limited time at Zimbrick Honda, you can buy 3 tires and get the 4th for only $1. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Get ready for the ultimate Saturday night at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. Join us for the all-new Queen of Hearts drawing at 4, 6, 8, and 10 p.m. This is your chance for royal glory. When your name is drawn, choose the right card and you could win a life-changing jackpot, up to $150,000. The longer the Queen stays hidden, the bigger the jackpot grows. Let's Hard Rock with the Queen of Hearts only at Hard Rock Casino Rockford. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem, call 1-800-GAMBLER or text ILGAMB to 833-234.
Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a must-play every golf season. Wild Rock Golf features championship golf in the heart of Wisconsin. Wild Rock, a Herdston Fry masterpiece that's cut from the natural beauty of the Wisconsin Dells and offers stunning views from elevated tee boxes. Wild Rock presents spectacular greens that roll fast and true. Wild Rock Golf in the Wisconsin Dells, a unique gem that offers a challenge to avid golfers of all abilities. Book your tee time today for this must-play at wildrockgolf.com, wildrockgolf.com.
We shopped at Chalmers because my husband wanted to get me a larger diamond in my engagement ring.
The folks at Chalmers said, well, we could just make it like this and we could do these things. Really just basically decided that there wasn't any place else we wanted to shop.
And not only did they create this new engagement ring for me with this gorgeous center stone, they also rehabbed this other ring, and I am beyond pleased.
Her favorite thing to do now is to walk around and show her hands and have people comment on it.
In the next 30 seconds, I'm going to tell you how to save money and save the planet. It's simple. Ditch your energy bill and make the switch over to Everlight Solar. While electricity prices keep rising, Everlight Solar will give you the chance to take ownership of your power while also reducing your carbon footprint. As a local company based out of Madison, they'll be there with you every step of the way as you make the switch to solar. To learn more about how you can save money and save the planet, go to everlightsolar.com.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
If you're looking for a special piece of jewelry for any occasion, Condon Jewelers is always there for you. Condon Jewelers has the best selection of jewelry you'll ever find and guaranteed to have the lowest prices in the Madison area. Free shipping is always available. Visit condonjeweler.com or call 241-3406 and ask for Jim, the owner, who's at the store every day. Shop locally. Condon Jewelers, the jeweler on the east side, the jeweler on your side.
Welcome back to Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN. Also brought to you by J&K Security Solutions.
Team at Canopy Wealth Management take time to truly get to know and understand the dynamics of your values, goals, and plans for your financial future. Their local professional team brings over 90 years of collective experience in the wealth management industry to the table for the benefit of their clients. At Canopy, care, competence, and clarity isn't just a tagline, it's a promise. Go to canopy-wealth.com to get started today. That's canopy-wealth.com. I'm Jim Rutledge alongside Molly Brown and Matt Hamilton. We are in the Everlight Solar Studio. We are presented by Coors Light. And Primetime Wollersheim is behind the glass. We're going to get to throwing stones.
1, 2, 3,
Some takes are cooler than others.
You know this kid is as cool as the other side of the pillow.
Some opinions are just cooler than the rest.
Now what's cooler than being cool? Ice cold.
And if you keep it chill, then it's a cold take.
Chill out. I'm chill. I'm chill as a cucumber, man.
I'm always the coldest.
This is Throwing Stones, presented by Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's chillest Kia dealership.
So this stone actually comes from the Cardinals Talk text line 844-770-3776. This is more. Rutledge is galactically stupid. Asked the question: who will have a better first year, Roma Dunze or Matthew Golden?
So you can tell Rutledge that.
And I will stick with I thought Matthew Golden's going to have a rookie season very similar to Jaden Reed, which is 64 catches, 793 yards receiving, 8 touchdowns. So looking at what Rome did last year, he had 54 catches for 734 yards, 3 TDs. The only stat that he topped Jaden Reed in was basically the yards per reception. So I think Golden will have a better year one with the Packers than Roma Dunze had with the Bears. I don't think that's a controversial take. The Bears had 3 offensive coordinators and a terrible offensive line and a rookie QB. Again, I think Jordan Love, his floor is set pretty high. It's just a matter of figuring out where his ceiling is. And when you look at LaFleur, he is a creative play caller and runs a good functional offense. You have Josh Jacobs mixed in there, which should open up more options in the passing game. So because Christian Watson is gone, I think Golden's going to have opportunities to have a Reed-type rookie season. And I've said very steadfastly, and this is with the hill I guess I'm going to die on, I'm not saying he's going to regress year over year if you think Jaden Reed did, but I'm saying that Matthew Golden and Jaden Reed are very similar players who are extremely talented, and with a head coach like Matt LaFleur, I think Packer fans should be excited about it. So I will go with Golden over Roma Dunze's rookie season, with Roma Dunze the wide receiver for the Bears. What do you guys say?
I would hope so. I mean, like you said, I think there's holes where Golden can fill in.
Mm-hmm.
Christian Watson, who knows if he's coming back? I know that it's been projected to be around November, Thanksgiving-ish. I think that'd be awesome if he was. But also, what is his workload going to look like? How is he going to actually look? Is he going to be the Christian Watson that we're used to and hopefully stay healthy? I don't know. Do you just laugh at that?
The Christian Watson's staying healthy bit.
I mean, I can hope he stayed relatively healthy until this horrible injury at the end of the year.
He just misses.
Mr. Lopsided hamstring?
You have to budget a certain amount. He's not a healthy player. You have to budget time.
He's not.
He leaves games. He leaves seasons. But he'll probably play maybe even on the optimistic side. If he got back early, he'd play his normal amount of games. But if he plays 8 games, that's not that far off of what you get out of Watson. 8 games out of Watson, I feel like he could be healthy.
How are we okay with Watson playing 8 games, but when Jair does it, it's like an offense?
Well, because Jair's done it 3 out of the past 4 years. Watson, it's really.
And we're not okay
2
with
out of the last 3.
But we're not okay with it. Christian Watson's gonna.
Well, last year he played well over them half the games last year.
He did. He was good last year until he tore his ACL.
But also, Christian Watson is likely going to be allowed to walk.
Yeah, rookie contract versus
Jair
top
getting,
tier.
Yeah.
And also
money.
Christian Watson, I feel like those were pretty real injuries. We saw him get knocked around a lot.
Yeah.
We saw him get injured. Jair is
My
just a
back
little
hurts.
sketchy. Yeah.
My hamstring's
Not saying
tight.
he's not hurt,
Yeah.
because I do think he hasn't been the same player since he had that tackle against the Steelers with where he led with his shoulder. I think that has messed him up for
Break
the
his
last
collarbone, right?
something like that.
Yeah.
All right, Matt.
Yeah, I do think he's going to have, like you said, similar to Jaden Reed, more than Roma Dunze. The thing is, like we talked about, Matt LaFleur wants to get the ball out of Jordan Love's hands quickly. The way LaFleur schemes up, and I know they're technically not allowed, but everyone does it, it's a rub route.
Yeah.
If Golden gets that kind of separation with his speed, he might really be able to take care of it. Jordan Love might literally throw the ball 7 yards on his 3-yard drop, 4 more yards down the field to Golden, and Golden might have 2 steps on his defender. So I do think of these yards, a lot of it's going to be yak, maybe most of it. But I do think he's going to do a little bit more than Adunze.
Yeah, I don't take any offense to it.
I think 800. I think 805 touchdowns. I'd be pretty thrilled.
Touchdowns to me are always up in the whether it's for quarterbacks, for receivers. It's just very.
But I do think he's going to break some tackles, and he's going to be able to use his speed to get into the end zone.
Yeah, I just would like to point out that Jaden Reed is also fast, not quite as fast.
Right.
This is not. Golden's fast, but that's why I go back to the Reed sort of thing. But you're also relying on Jordan Love to let it rip. And that's a term that LaFleur has used and that they need out of Jordan Love. He just needs to get the ball out of his hands quickly. I would say that the way you're going to use a lot of this, I get what you're saying, but I guess the way that a lot of people have talked about Golden, he is the Watson. He's the one. Obviously, this is not the routes they're going to run, but Golden deep, Dobbs deep middle, and Kraft's like 10 yards.
Running up the seam?
Or so you're looking Kraft 10 yards,
yeah.
Dobbs 15, and Golden 20 plus. So
Golden will get plenty of takes if it's the other way around, and
he's gonna have to. He was
Jordan
good
Love
at.
Wants to be a big game hunter.
He was good at it in college, but there's better players in the NFL. Like his height will work against him, but he was a good go up and get a guy in college.
Okay.
But under 6 feet does make it tougher.
He's gonna Steve Smith it.
I love it when you name the one guy, the exception to the rule.
Yeah. That's what I do.
I love betting on the exception to the rule. Yep, absolutely. Go be a winner. Winners go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Millions of dollars are won every single weekend at Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. So go be a winner and go to Ho Chunk Gaming Madison. Mark Tauscher coming up next.
Listening to Jim, Matt, and Molly.
It's like dogs. Like you get like the snickerdoodle or all these. Like you're trying to build a
Snickerdoodle?
Is that a real dog?
No, it's like a golden doodle.
Golden
it's a cookie.
doodle. Golden doodle.
Like a snickerdoodle. Half poodle, half Snickers bar.
I'm sure golden doodle. I don't know. This breeding dogs thing is dumb.
Presented by Coors Light on 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN Wisconsin app, and ESPN Madison on YouTube.
Hey, it's Molly Brown from Jim, Matt, and Molly. I've been drinking ZOA Energy for a while now, and I absolutely love it. ZOA is my go-to beverage when I need a boost without the crash that comes with other energy drinks. It's packed with natural ingredients like vitamin B and C, electrolytes, and has 0 sugar. It fuels my workouts and busy days. I recently had twins, and I have a toddler, so I need all of the energy I can get. Head over to ZOAEnergy.com to find the location nearest to you to pick up some ZOA for yourself. ZOA Energy for balance and drive.
Immediate live show streaming, a homepage customized just for you. The brand new ESPN Wisconsin app. Your state, your teams, your ESPN.
If you're just doing this because you're starting to not believe the Packers are going to bring in a number 1 wide receiver.
The ESPN Wisconsin app. Everything in the palm of your hand.
Who are the top guys?
And Dobbs.
That is the problem.
No, I totally
That is
agree.
the problem. You have never called Xavier McKinney the wrong name.
Available in the Apple and Android App Store. Download the ESPN Wisconsin app today.
Cheesy Bites Pizza is back at Pizza Hut. For only $13.99, you get a large pizza with 28 pullable, poppable, cheese-filled bites. Plus, it comes with Pizza Hut's very own Ranch Lovers Flight, featuring 3 bold dips: Ultimate Ranch, Chipotle Ranch, and Pepperoni Ranch. 1 large pizza, 3 dips, endless flavor. Ready to dip into deliciousness? Well, hurry. It's only available for a limited time. Head to a Pizza Hut location or order online at pizzahut.com today. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
When it comes to your body, you want to trust a doctor, and you want to trust the experts. That's why the only place that you should consider going for GLP-1s and semaglutide is Carbon World Health in Madison, because they're run by Dr. Nestor Rodriguez. They have a workout facility and trainers to help you reach your goals, and they can help with dietary suggestions. The experts for semaglutide and GLP-1s are Carbon World Health. Learn more at carbonworldhealth.com.
You ever try fixing your car and realize you're missing that one part? Yeah, been there. That's why eBay's my go-to. They've got millions of parts, guaranteed to fit. I'm talking brake pads for when yours have seen 1 too many miles of stop and go. Oil filters, cause you don't mess around with your engine care. Even got this cold air intake on my watch list. I might just go for it. To keep the ride cool and your DIY streak hot. Find all the parts you need at prices you'll love. Guaranteed to fit every time. eBay. Things people love. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
The playoffs are in full swing, and you can get in on all the action at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Go from tracking the latest game-changing moments to placing bets in just a few taps. Right now, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet Sportsbook app and sign up with promo code JOEQ, J-O-E-Q, to get started today. Must be 21 plus, Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Welcome to the Chevy Lightning Round. Guess the clues to win. First team, you're up.
Powerful, commanding, unstoppable.
Silverado.
Adventurous, fun, techie.
Trailblazer.
Stylish, nimble.
Trax.
Innovative, electric.
Blazer EV. Lightning Round champions. You've guessed all the right Chevy clues.
Wherever the year takes you, explore it together in the Chevy of your choice. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
From color-changing alexandrite to shimmering zircon and everything in between at Chalmers Jewelers, you'll find high-quality, affordable, one-of-a-kind pieces. We source straight from the gem cutters, and we manufacture in-house from start to finish. As the manufacturer, we believe in truth in pricing. Never pay more for quality and stunning, beautiful jewelry. She's one of a kind, and so should her jewelry be. While others may send your jewelry dreams to someone else to make, with us, your dreams become reality with the help of our custom jewelers, with you involved the whole way. With a staff that has over 200 years of combined experience, why buy from a place that marks up jewelry made by the thousands? When you can buy direct from Chalmers for that one-of-a-kind piece that is better quality, often for less.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison. We see you out there, building a life you love, knowing that when inspiration strikes, nothing should get in your way. At Blaine's, we're here to help with everything you need to make it happen at prices that make it possible. Like 15% off assorted Kurt trailer hitch accessories, name brand tires, or buy 3, get 1 free for rewards members. Plus, this Saturday from 9 to 2, don't miss special offers and test drive select zero turns and lawn tractors during our Ride and Drive event. Blaine's Farm and Fleet. Be an original.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Take your game to the next level with Vortex Golf. This employee-owned brand out of Wisconsin brings you premium rangefinders like the Blade, Blade Slope, and the Anarch, packed with features like image stabilization, pin spotter mode, and rock-solid accuracy. Backed by a legendary no-questions-asked VIP lifetime warranty and unmatched customer service, Vortex has you covered. Ready to upgrade your gear? Visit maplehillgolf.com and search Vortex to see the full lineup. Vortex Golf, you can bet on it.
With Mother's Day just around the corner, show that special woman in your life just how much she means to you. Head over to Gail Ambrosia's Chocolatier store on Atwood and treat her to delightfully delicious chocolates crafted to perfection right here in Madison. Once you taste that difference that locally owned and made chocolates provides, you'll never go back to buying a mass-produced box of chocolate ever again. Make this Mother's Day one to remember with a box of chocolates from Gail Ambrosia's Chocolatier on Atwood.
Quarterback Jordan Love isn't just on the Packers. He's also on the American Family Insurance team. Because like us, he believes in dreaming fearlessly.
Just chase your dreams and don't let nobody hold you back.
And we help protect those dreams with the right coverage so you can
dream fearlessly.
American Family Insurance. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Green Bay Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher on Jim, Matt, and Molly is brought to you by Chalmers Jewelers. Chalmers Jewelers, with locations in Middleton and downtown Madison.
I don't know if I'd agree with that, Jim Rutledge.
Green Bay Packers Hall of Famer
Matt Hamilton. Help me out. Who is that?
Wisconsin football analyst.
You know what? It feels like Molly's the only one that's being sincere about that. So, Molly, I really appreciate that. Thank you.
Mark Tauscher on Jim, Matt, and Molly is brought to you by Chalmers Jewelers. Chalmers Jewelers, with locations in Middleton and downtown Madison.
Live listening, show replays, exclusive content. It's all on the new ESPN Wisconsin app. Your state, your teams, your ESPN. The Wisconsin sports fans' best way to stay in touch with their favorite ESPN Wisconsin shows and keep up with their favorite teams. Find the new ESPN Wisconsin app in the Apple or Android app stores.
This is Jim, Matt, and Molly. We are presented by Coors Light. I'm Jim Rutledge alongside Molly Brown and Matt Hamilton. You can see us on the ESPN Madison YouTube stream. You can stream this show with the ESPN Wisconsin app. Primetime Laura Sean behind the glass. We are thrilled to be joined by Packer Hall of Famer Mark Tauscher. But I want to start with a Badger-related question. We had Monte Ball on the Badger-dedicated podcast, The Jump Around, and Badger-dedicated digital show, The Jump Around, on the ESPN Madison YouTube page. We had at 12:30 on Thursdays. And I was excited. Monte Ball pointed out that Jeff Grimes, the second he was signed, texted Monte, James White, I believe Melvin Gordon, and Taylor all in like a group chat being like, I'm going to bring back the running tradition at Wisconsin. And so that got me excited. And I followed up. I said, did the prior offensive coordinator shoot you that same text? And he said, no. He said, Luke Fickell did reach out when he got hired. But the main point of it, Mark, was I was excited that the Badgers offensive coordinator is putting his actions where his words are, where not only is he referencing that he wants to run the football more, he is understanding that reaching out to great Badger running backs is the smart thing to do and a way to reestablish that connection with Badger players. Does that kind of have the same resignation with you that like he's actually doing what he says he's going to do, which is bring back or try to bring back Badger running football?
I love that story. I think it's great, and the fact that you're talking about three or four of the best running backs we've ever had at this school, and to take the time out to shoot a text just to let them know what we've done, what we're looking to do is going to make you proud of what's going on. It tells you the mindset, and it also tells you the respect of the tradition of what Wisconsin is all about. So I love that. I think that is great. With all that said, that's cute. That's great. It's a fun anecdote. It's got to show up, too. And there's no doubt. I think we saw this when Luke Fickell hired Grimes, and we're hearing it, and we watched it during spring ball. There is going to be more of an emphasis on physicality, and this isn't, a reversion back to 1990s football where it was just, pound the football. You want and need to be physical, and that has become abundantly clear. And I think the fact that Grimes reached out to those great running backs and let them know, hey, this is what we're striving to be again, I think is really cool.
So the Badgers got picked for like the over-under on the wins this year at 5.5. How does that make you feel? Because it makes me feel pretty bad.
Well, I think I don't mind being an underdog, and I think there is a level right now that nationally people look at Wisconsin and say they saw the Minnesota game, they saw the Iowa game, and they saw the Nebraska game, and if you're not winning those games, the schedule is really difficult. So Las Vegas has ideas. That doesn't mean they're right. I mean, we could have done this show last year or 2 years ago with Greg Gardner saying, well, the Badgers are ranked 12th. That's about what you're talking. 12th out of 18, you're going to be in that area. So it's all, I think, good fodder for a program that needs to rebuild and reload to where they want to be. It is what it is. I think you utilize everything you can to be as positive about what you got going on. And right now, you can look at it and say, nobody respects you. Nobody has you winning. Las Vegas has you at this. Nobody has you winning the Big Ten. Nobody has you even in the top, tier of where we're at, and that is because last year we didn't make a bowl game, and now it's the beautiful part of college football is it's a year-to-year thing now. Indiana was probably picked to have 3 wins last year, and guess what? They ended up going to the college football playoffs. So utilize it for what you can to motivate your group, and that's about it. And as a Badger fan, I don't really care about that. I care about getting better and trying to improve off of where we were last season and try to build in that direction.
Now, I can respect that, but doesn't it make you just a little nervous looking at their schedule this year? I mean, even like the month of October looks brutal.
Schedule is tough, and I guess I'd ask Matt, are you taking them more or less on that 5.5?
The optimism hopeful Matt is saying take the under, but if you're like, hey, this is...
You mean over?
Or taking the over.
What are you talking about?
Taking the over.
The optimistic side, taking the under?
Optimistic at
The optimistic
Matt.
Matt. It's going to be 2 wins? Oh, my God.
Yeah, that would be sad. The optimistic Matt would take the over, but if Jim was like, hey, Matt, I need you to place a bet for me. This is my retirement. I'm taking the under.
Yeah, here's the deal, and Molly, I think it's an interesting. I think everybody realizes and sees that, and I'm sure that's part of what goes into, how odds makers do all of this stuff. The schedule is really tough. I mean, you're talking about having to go to Alabama, to Oregon, and I think Scary Alvarez put a tweet out and kind of went through the list. It is a daunting list. This is no longer. You can be a little bit weak, and you can maybe sneak out and win a Big Ten West, and then maybe sneak into the Big Ten. There's no sneaking around. College football and the Big Ten, now that there's, it's just one big old conference, you're going to have – I don't think it's going to be the point where you're ever going to sit there and say, boy, is this a soft schedule? Those days are gone, and you need to realize all of that and then figure out how are you going to win enough games to get yourself eligible to be in that end-of-the-season tournament, and that's got to be the goal moving forward.
I don't want to poo-poo the Badgers by any means, but, realistically, is their goal this season to make it to a bowl game?
Yeah, I don't know what – I would think that your big goal right now is you're going to want to find great improvement off of what we saw last year. That needs to be the goal, and if that's there's no doubt we are – if you're setting goals to not make a bowl game or just barely sneak in, I think we're all in the wrong business. I don't know, depending on how you want to approach it, you want to be honest and you want to make sure you're, not fibbing your players because, players see and know what's going on. But the funny part is, and I'm not going to keep bringing up Indiana, but I would bet that we're all looking at that. If you're in Bloomington doing the same show, I would bet that there's a lot of these same conversations. Things can change quickly. I think the fact that Wisconsin is probably being viewed in as low of a place as we've seen, you utilize that as a positive, and then you kind of just keep chipping away. I don't think if you start looking at this thing big picture, like we need to get to this, you're going to be in trouble. This has to be we need to come out. There's going to be everybody thinks the first 2 games would be easy. You just chop away, and then you go down to Tuscaloosa and see where you're at. I think that will be, I would guess, how you would look, approach this season.
Talking with Mark Tauscher, brought to you by Chalmers Jewelers in Madison and in Middleton. Madison's custom and family-owned jeweler. We were talking, Mina Kimes and Danny Kelly did a podcast, and Matt got a little bit upset where they said that Matthew Golden, they love the pick, but he might not be a traditional number 1, but they thought the Packers have an army of 2s, which I said, hey, that's fine. That's not a negative. But my bigger takeaway was that if I was betting on, because Evan Cohen joined us and asked, who on the Packers would you think would have more than 75 catches? And I didn't know if anyone would, but if I was going to bet on someone on the Packers having more than 75 catches, I'd actually go with Tucker Kraft. But Matt was saying he thinks Matthew Golden will be the leading receiver. Who do you think could be the focal point of the offense in the passing game for the Packers? I think LaFleur's excited about what Kraft could bring when you look even in the NFC North and you see the likes of Hawkinson and Laporta making some big-time plays as tight ends.
No, I don't think there's any question as we sit here now. Tucker Kraft is going to be the focal point of the offense, and that doesn't mean that will stay that way. But if you're banking on a first-round wide receiver to be the focal point of your offense going into a season, you're in trouble. Now, it could be he's the next Justin Jefferson, and we'll be all stoked. If he becomes that'd be great, but you still want to get that process unfolded. And if you're banking on that, I think that is not a smart way to go about your business. And Tucker Kraft emerged last season as somebody that I think warrants getting more opportunities. And you've seen this with Gronk, and I'm not trying to put him – he's not in that category yet. But I think his trend line is going in the right direction. He is going to be a focal point for what we're trying to get done up in Green Bay. And you hope that Golden, you hope that Jaden Reed bounces back. You hope all these other guys keep pushing because you still want to have a stud wideout. But having a great tight end has led to a lot of championships from a lot of different teams.
Mark, awesome stuff. Thanks for fitting us into your schedule today.
You got it, guys. Thanks.
All right, that's Mark Tauscher. This has been Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light. Coming up next, the first ever live edition of Thanalysis on ESPN Wisconsin. Next going to go from 6 to 8. Tony Cartagena, Thanasis, Antetokounmpo, Amber, and then we have Amber and Ian coming up 8 to 9. This has been Jim, Matt, and Molly, presented by Coors Light.
See ya.
After a storm, even seemingly small damage can lead to major problems. If your roof or